Okay, in the last video, we looked at another way to iterate through rows. In this video, I want to show you another way to iterate through columns. And it is almost exactly like the last video, except for instead of iter rows, we're going to enter calls. So let's create our for loop. Let's go for, and let's call this call, short for column, in our WS worksheet, dot iter underscore calls. Remember the last video was iter underscore rows, so now we're iter underscore calls. And this guy acts almost in the exact same way as in the last video. We can set our min row to, let's say 1. We can set our min underscore call to, let's say 1. We can, after this one, go max underscore row, and let's set that equal to 8. And then here min call 1 and max underscore call equals 2. We only have 2 columns. And again, this is a for loop, so we need our colon there. And we can also, if we want to set that flag that we did in the last video, we can go values underscore only equals true. Makes it a little bit easier. So let's create a for loop. So let's go for cell in call, and let's print our cell. So if we save this and run it, you can probably guess we're going to get our names and then our favorite pizzas. So this is a little bit confusing. So like before, we could set a print statement right here with \n, stands for new line, right? The line break. And let's clear the screen and run this again. And we see our columns, column 1 and column 2, or column A and column B, I should say, and all of the values inside of here. And just like in the last video, we can play around with all of these different numbers. If we only want, let's say, if we don't want the headers, we can set the min rows to 2. So if we save this, come back here, clear the screen, and run this guy. And we just get the columns themselves without the headers. If we only want the names, for instance, we could set the min column to 1 and the max column to 1. And we only want 1 column, right? Which is the first column. So let's clear the screen, and this should return just the names. Sure enough, just the names. If we want, the other column, we would set that to 2 and 2. And there we go. So just another way to iterate through rows and columns. Your basic for loop as we did, several videos ago, works completely fine. This just gives you, a little bit more control over being very specific on exactly what things you want to do, sort of explicitly spelling them out right here. And sometimes it's just good to do that, and sometimes you don't need to do that. So now you have different options to choose from when grabbing information. But more importantly, now we have several ways to grab any type of information you want from a spreadsheet, be it just a single cell, a range of cells, a single row, a range of rows, a single column, a range of columns, and then several different ways to iterate through all of those things. So hopefully this will give you the tools for any situation you find yourself in, being able to grab any sort of snippet of data from a spreadsheet that you need. So that's pretty much all for grabbing information, grabbing data out of a spreadsheet. Now we're going to start to focus on formatting and styling our spreadsheets. In the next video, we're going to take a little break and do a quick exercise to put some of these things that we've learned to use.